Hey, I'm back switching gears, family. Made it to my boy Gerald's house. I'm on a 2018 Road Glide CVO. We had a great time on our trip. I'm about to get ready to head back to South Carolina area, and it's a beautiful day to ride. We all geared up and getting ready to go. I'd like to say thanks to my boy Gerald. He's interested in getting a motorcycle, so hopefully we have him on the channel soon for him to be riding. But I'm about to get ready to head out now and hit the road. Appreciate it.
All right, good.
I'll call you while I'm on the road.
All right, man.
Yep. We got about a 5.5 hour ride back, but it should be pretty smooth. We're going 95 all the way out. Well, we're about 100 miles from 95, and we'll head that out and then go back around. All right. And we're in the New Bern, North Carolina area, and man, I had a wonderful time. So, like I mentioned earlier, we end up going to a buddy of mine's, well, actually my cousin, retirement, over 20 years in the Marine Corps. Man, we're very proud of him, and we haven't all been together in the same place in a long time, so it definitely was a very good event, and it just kind of lets me know that I'm ready for retirement. I've been in almost 20 years now myself, and I'm contemplating retirement, but I'm not sure yet. I guess we'll just kind of see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But a very beautiful day. The bike is showing 64, and it kind of feels a little chillier than that. But I got all my gear on, got my Harley heated vest just in case, because the weather will be changing and I will be riding into the nighttime, so I'm prepared. I got my warm lowers on, my thermal socks. Well, not really thermal socks, no, just some thick cotton socks. And my Icon Patrol 2 boots. Like I told you, great in any weather. Great in any weather. They do great transitioning, so I'm ready to go. A lot of the pollen out here in this area, man. The bike storm is covered in pollen, but good thing that we ceramic coated her on the, if you haven't seen my ceramic coating video, please take a look at it, because once I get back, all I got to do is wipe her down. I will be taking some bug slide to that front windshield and my front lights to loosen up those bugs and get them off, but it shouldn't be a hard cleaning process. If you haven't used bug slide before, I highly recommend that. I may do a quick video on bug slide as well, but other than that, we're back on the bike and we're rolling. Gerald is lucky. He stays about 5 miles from a dealership. So this is a dealership that I've never been to. So you guys can ride along with me. I'm gonna head to that dealership really quick and probably pick up me a poker chip. And if I got some room in my bags, I may grab a t-shirt. I got a bunch of miscellaneous stuff in my bags already, but I think I can make room for a shirt. You can always make room for a shirt. I might grab me a t-shirt really quick and get ready to tear this road up. It says I'm gonna get home at 5, so it's perfect time. I may not have to ride until the nighttime, so perfect time. Like I said, we're about 100 miles away from the 95, and then once we get on 95, it's just smooth sailing all the way back. So very easy ride. Looking forward to it. That bump I just hit. That bump I just hit, I don't know if you guys seen how the front bike kind of dipped in and dipped out. So about 1,000 miles ago, I put, well, I don't know if I got exactly 1,000 miles on them yet. I will have 1,000 miles on the way back. Okay. So 700 miles or so, I put the Progressive Revo A shocks on the rear. I can't say it's a, you know, it is, I will say, I guess I could use the term night and day difference. It is a difference. I can tell it also highlights that the front end does not have the Legend shocks on it, because as you can see, when that took that front dip, it's not as smooth as the rear. Now I'm noticing more thump in the front, and as it transitions back to the rear of the bike, it smooths itself out. So I'm leaning towards getting the front. I said I would. I just want to give these a little chance here. My first time dealing with Legends, so but you know, I hear great things, but I'm very weary of people of things that have a lot of good reviews, because I know it's a lot of people just say things are great because other people said it was great. So kind of like to try myself. It smells good. Someone's out here barbecuing, man. It's always a great smell. If you haven't checked out my other channel, the Royal Q, tomorrow, if God's will, I should be putting out a brisket video on my refurbished Big Green Egg. I got an XL Big Green Egg that I've had for years, and I do mean years. And I went through it and refurbed her about 2 weeks ago, and she looks brand new. So I'm going to be breaking her in on the brisket. Haven't did a brisket on her in a while, because I kind of stopped using her when I got my Rectech, but it's time to use her again. So if you haven't checked that channel out, you know, look up the Royal Q and tell me what you think. But back to bikes, we're headed home. That Harley dealership should be over here somewhere on the left. I'm going to pull into there real quick and, like I said, grab me a poker chip and maybe a shirt and just check it out. And then it's going to be time to head home. I'll cut you guys off and on the way. I don't do really too much recording because I'm kind of enjoying the ride, but I will cut you guys off and on along the way. I hate intersections. I hate when vehicles are merging. I'm always cautious. I don't know what you guys do. I like to power through it. You know, if that costs me a ticket, then I get a ticket. I'd rather get a ticket and be alive than to pull through it and someone think that they can jump out in front of me and smack me. But let's pray none of that ever happens for nobody. There's the Harley Davidson right here. I'm gonna come up here and do a U-turn and come back around. Oh no, you know what? I'll make a left and come all the way back down. But that is Harley Davidson of New Bern, North Carolina. So let's pop in there and give it a check. I'm not gonna spend too long in there because I'm ready to get home. Ready to get home. So back to my buddy Gerald that you just seen on the channel. He's starting to show a lot of interest in motorcycles. You know, I'm trying to give him as much guidance as I can about a new bike for a new bike rider. He's never even ridden a bike. He's played around on four-wheelers, and like all of us have in the past. But so he's signing up for the BRC, Basic Rider Course, and then he wants to purchase his first bike. And everybody has their suggestions on what they think a person should get for a first bike. You know, I got told a Sportster or, you know, a 500 or something like that. But I quickly learned that I grew out of that bike very fast. My first bike was a Honda VLX 600 Honda Shadow, and I outgrew that bike within 60 days. And I rode it every single day because I was just so happy to have a bike. I don't care where I was going, I just rode it, and the bike had so many limitations as far as riding, you know, power, torque, speed, comfort. I bobbed the bike out, so it wasn't as comfortable. I started trying to stretch out more on longer rides on it, And I just quickly learned that I needed something else. So I evolved to a Road King. And I stayed at the Road King level for a while. I mean, for a while, the Road King was everything I needed. Until I rode a bike with a fairing. And when I rode a bike with a fairing, then it totally changed my mind on what I view as a motorcycle ride. So I'm trying to give my buddy Gerald his best advice as I can with the number of bikes that I've owned and the number of years that I've been riding. But he's pulling more towards a big touring bike. He wants to start off on a street glide, and I'm not saying that that's bad. And I understand that he wants to, start off on something bigger so he can ride with us and keep up. But like I told him, he has to first, in my opinion, he has to get comfortable with the bike first, and then even he needs to figure out even if he likes to ride. A lot of people get very enthusiastic about riding because other people ride and they see how much fun they're having, and they go out and spend a lot of money on a brand new bike or a used bike, and it's too much bike for them, and they drop it or they almost drop it and they get scared. And then once they get scared, they don't want to ride anymore. And I don't want that to happen to Gerald. No, I want him to keep his fire. I want him to keep, everything that he has. I think I'm going to park over here. So, I want him to keep his fire. I want him to keep, wanting to ride. So, I don't know. I'm trying to sell him on a Heritage, maybe. Something in the cruiser touring line. He does not like Sportsters. We looked at those. I'm trying to get him on maybe a Heritage or a Road King. I feel that those are big enough. Well, I don't feel, I know that those are big enough to tour. And they're also big enough to keep up. But they're small enough to handle. I don't want to start them off on the street glide because I just feel like the fairing, the weight of that fairing in the front when you're trying to learn how to lean, counter steer, and all those other things, for a new rider, I feel it's hard. But we'll pick this back up when we get on the road. Drop your comments in below about that. What was your first bike when you first started riding? What do you wish after you got that first bike? What bike do you wish you started off with? I wish I would have started off with the Road King and not stayed with the Road King so long, because I had 2 Road Kings for over a couple of years, and then I eventually moved to the Street Glide. But I wish I would have started with the Road King and then just moved right up to the Street Glide. Honestly, I wish I would have skipped the Street Glide and went straight to a Road Glide, because I just love. But at the time, I hated the way the Road Glide looked. But now I love it, and I love the functionality of it. So, what bike did you start off with, and what bike do you wish you would have started off with? All right, I'm finna go inside the dealership. I'm gonna go in here and, like I said, give me a couple of things, and then come back out. And once we get on the road, we'll start back up again. Switching gears. Hey, we're back. The ride is going good. We got about 198 miles to go before we're home. And I'm headed southbound on 95. Beautiful, beautiful day to ride. Somewhat of overcast. Got a lot of the bikes coming back from Daytona, I presume, heading north. And now I'm the bike that's heading south. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I was the bike heading north and everybody else was heading south. So now the roads have reversed. Got a little bit of overcast. The sun has went in behind the clouds. But Storm, the CVO 18 Road Glide, is riding beautifully. And I gotta, say that I think that gear matters. And that's gonna be a topic that we're gonna talk about. But before we get into that, I wanna lead back off again with my last discussion as far as helping out my buddy Gerald, trying to figure out what his first bike should be. I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions and approaches to buying their first bike. And I know a lot of factors go into it. How much do I want to spend? How big of a bike do I want to get? Do I want a cruiser? Do I want a sport bike? Do I want a touring bike? What brand do I want to go with? It's a lot. Buying a motorcycle is a lot. I'm trying my best to help him out as much as possible. but I'm suggesting to him, he definitely knows he wants a Harley. Oh, welcome to South Carolina. Welcoming me home. He definitely knows he wants a Harley. He definitely knows that he wants a bike that can go distance-wise. But he doesn't know if he wants a full dresser touring or if he wants a cruiser / touring. Now, I look at the Road Glide, the Heritage Softails in general, Road Kings, my opinion, I look at those as cruiser / touring bikes. Meaning, I can get on that bike and do some nice cruising because of the weight and the functionality if I just want to bar hop here to here. But I can also dress that bike up if I want to do a long touring trip. Drop your comments in below if you agree with that, or, how do you view it? But then I look at the Road Glides and the Ultras, the Ultra Limiteds, the Street Glides. Those are your full touring bikes. Now, could they be cruisers? Of course. I think Storm here is all around. She's a tour bike and a cruiser because she is my #1 main purpose riding bike. So I cruise on her. I go to the store, I go get some pizza, go on a Sunday ride, and I also do like I'm doing today. I stretch her out 500, 600, 700 miles, 800,000 miles at a time. And I have her equipped for that, which kind of leads me back to when I was saying earlier, gear matters. What gear did you run? So I was having a good conversation with my buddy, was letting him know that, hey, even though the bike is important, I feel the gear is more important. Not having the proper gear will make a bike miserable, and I can attest to that. Not having a good helmet or gloves or handlebars that fit you, a seat, shocks, exhaust. I mean, who knows? It depends on the person. That could make a ride uncomfortable. I remember when I first started touring and doing long distance rides, I was riding a Road King. No windshield. 16-inch bars in the air. And it was a painful ride after a couple of 100 miles. My arms would get tired, they would want to go to sleep. I was fighting the wind, my back was hurting, my midsection was sore because I was fighting against the wind. I was not letting the bike do the work, my body was doing some of the work too. So that's what I mean by gear plays a big factor. As I started upping my gear, getting a backrest, getting a better helmet instead of running a half helmet, I switched over to a full helmet. I went to a full helmet with communication, so now I can stay in touch with people as I'm doing my long bike ride. I upped my gear. I used to ride in whatever I put on my feet. Now I'm riding in shoes that are made for motorcycle touring and cruising. In the cold weather, I used to just layer upon layer. Now I'm riding heated vests and heated gloves. So gear makes the experience better. I consider myself an all-year rider. And I'm new to the all-year riding, maybe about 3 years. And I'm still improving my arsenal as far as cold weather gear, rain gear, whatever the case may be. I think I got the rain part down. So I'm going to take this summer and I'm going to tweak the cold gear part. So for next winter, I'm going to see. I think I'm going to start going with some of the freeze out gear, and I'm going to do a whole suit instead of pieces, and I'm going to see which one is better. If you guys got any comments to some good gear, let me know. But as a motorcyclist, just like your passion evolves and your touring evolves, so should your gear. Your gear should evolve. And I feel like if your gear is not evolving with you, then you're doing the same type of riding over and over. Or you're just comfortable with the gear you have. For some of you that don't like technology, I know people that say, hey, I've been riding the same helmet for 10 years. Not only is that dangerous per the expiration date of the helmet, I mean, you're missing out on a lot of technology and things that can make your ride better with a new design of a helmet. Maybe airflow, maybe comfortability, the dynamics of the helmet. So gear matters. I want you guys to tell me what kind of gear you have. What makes your riding better? I'll tell you what mine are. Things that I feel like I need on a motorcycle. I need handlebars. Not for style, for functionality. I'm a taller guy, 72 inches. And when I'm on a factory Harley with factory bars, I have excruciating shoulder pain and back pain. A lot of it is just from wear and tear from military lifestyle, but a lot of it is due to the ergonomics of the bars. So I have to go with some type of ape hangers. That's what I have found that works for me. I like heated grips. Again, I'm talking about riding year round. It's just another creature comfort that I enjoy. I like a custom seat. I'm riding a ultimate seat right now, and it is quickly moving to be one of the best seats that I've ever ridden on. I got a little bit over 1,000 miles on the seat. Actually, here's the seat miles right here. I set my trip to it. 1,404 miles on this seat now. And I mean, it gets better and better every time I ride it. I'm glad that I kept it. I was on the fence with turning it in because they give you the 14-day tryout. And it's a lot of money. This seat was about $800 with everything said and done. Oh, maybe even $850. So it was very tempting to send it back. But I said, you know, I don't think 14 days, and during the time when I bought it, it was winter time. I just didn't have enough riding time on it. So I bit the bullet and I kept it. You know, everybody may not be able to do that. But I will say that I saved up for it because I knew that I wanted to get it. So I was able to keep it and test it out a little bit more, and I am so glad that I did. Let's get around this big truck, and then we come back to cruising speed. And I'm so glad that it is forming to me now. It's breaking in, and now I'm putting 3 to 4, maybe 500 miles on it at one time, unless I got to stop to get gas, and I'm right back on the bike. And I'm hopping off feeling well. And again, I have back, shoulder, you know, disc issues and sciatic nerve issues, and I'm able to get off this thing. So the review for the Ultimate seat is definitely coming. So I need a seat. I need exhaust. I don't like the Harley factory exhaust. Not, yeah, for the sound, but also for the performance of the bike. I mean, it bogs the bike down. I need an air cleaner, so I'm going with stage 1 automatically. And now I'm learning that I need shocks. Since I'm riding the Legend Revo A's in the rear, I don't see myself going back to factory shocks. Now, I have not purchased the front yet. I will be here in the future. And then I'll do a full review on the whole front and the back. But the back now is, hey, much better. And lastly, besides little tidbits, oh, I need a backrest. I'm a backrest guy. I don't care what bike is on. I don't care where I'm going. I need a backrest, and I gotta have it. Okay. And lastly, I don't have to have, but I prefer Michelin tires. It's just my brand that I like. I love the Commanders. They just came out with the Commander 3s. I'm not able to run them on Storm because she has the awkward 21 and the Michelin just don't make it. Now, she is a 130, 60, 21, but Michelin makes a 120, 70, 21. So it's a little bit skinnier, but a little bit thicker tire. I've called around, I've done some research. I could run that tire. But I would feel better if I ran the factory specs. So I'm looking at the Cobras by Avon. I heard you're not getting as many miles out of those tires, but they perform really well in wet and dry weather. They're very sticky, and when you look at them, they have a really aggressive design, they're pleasing to the eye. I may give those a try, because I hate the Dunlops that come factory on Harleys. I just don't like them. They're too soft. They, even if I'm always checking air pressure, I run them at recommended spec air, and I get a lot of breakage and sliding when I'm aggressive in curves. Just me, just the way that I feel. If you research out there, you're gonna hear some other people saying the same thing. So for me, the factory Dunlops, they have to go. But if they came on a bike, I'm gonna ride them until it's time to change them. I'm not just throwing away money. I'm gonna ride them until it's time to change them. But once I change these, once I get ready to change Storm, and if you guys are following my channel, I haven't had Storm long. I got Storm in October of last year, and she only had 200 miles on her, and she's almost at 4,000 miles now. So I haven't had Storm long. I'm still getting a good, tread and riding out the tire. She's a 2018, so the tire date is still good. The tread depth and everything is still good on them. I just run them at factory specs, and that's it. But when it's time to change, I will definitely be getting either the Cobras, or I'm hoping that I can reach out to Michelin and see if they will even consider making a different brand or a size. I doubt it, but hey, it's worth a shot. But gear matters, so definitely don't skimp on the gear. Looks like we may be hitting a little rain. The GPS didn't, the Weather Channel didn't call for it, I don't think. But if it do, I got my rain gear handy. I'm ready to go. I'm riding that Shoei GT Air 2, and this is an awesome helmet. There are a lot of reviews coming up next. I owe you guys a review on the helmet, a review on the bars, a review on the seat. I got my review coming up for the Legend Revo Age. I will also be reviewing the Clocksworks 9-inch shield that I have. I said I wouldn't do it because a lot of people have it out there, but I may just do a quick video. I may roll it into another review. And that's about it. I already did a review on the Icon Patrol 2 boots. Go on my channel and check it out. I think they're an awesome boot. I wore them on and off the bike this weekend, and no one even knew that they were motorcycle boots. I actually got a compliment on them. Someone thought they were some Nike ACG boots. And so that just kind of says how inconspicuous they are, and how good they kind of blend in. But we're gonna do a little bit more riding. 181 miles away, easy day. That's like a lunch run for me. Not saying that I'm an extreme distance rider. I am a part of the Iron Butt Association, and I am a part of the Long Distance Rider Association or group. You can check out some of my videos on the channel where I talk about both of them and how I obtained my certificate. If you want to go on their website and maybe give it a shot. I actually am trying to plan another Iron Butt coming up here in the future, maybe over to Texas and back. But yeah, easy day. So we're gonna keep on going. I'll cut you guys on right when I'm about to wrap it up, and that'll be it. Thanks for tuning in and riding with me on Switching Gears. All right, Switching Gears family, we're at the end of it. Made it home. I'm only about a couple of miles from the house. Those last 100 or so miles were smooth as silk. 18 Road Glide CVO Storm did a great job. Legend Revo A shocks did a great job. All the gear that I put on this bike, I built it so I can ride it. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about as far as how important gear is. So take a look at your gear. Are you going for style, or are you going for functionality, or are you going for both? If you would have asked me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have told you probably style. Today I'm going for a little bit of both, but more so I'm leaning toward the functionality. I need my gear to work for me in the way that I intended to, even if it doesn't look the best. With that being said, this ride is coming to an end. It was a great way to spend a short weekend. Got about 780 or almost 800 miles clocked in on this one. We're sitting at 1,602 miles on the ultimate seat, and storm is at 3,405 miles, and that's since about November of last year when I bought her. So that's what, November, let's say October, November, December, January, February, and we're in March. I don't think that's too bad for the winter months. I could have did more. I had a couple of projects I was working on, was trying to get storm set up. My goal is I'll try to do about 10,000 a year. That's where I'm at now. And that it all depicts on time and job and family and all that. I think I may hit it this year, or I may be 2,000 shy. Got a couple of more big rocks coming up. But that's all I have for you. I'm cruising through my neighborhood. Happy to be home. Thanking God for another great day on earth, and also another great motorcycle ride that I can return home safely. And I hope you guys are all having a good time. Thank you for joining me. Switching Gears is out.